Welcome back to Mortgage 101, your guide to home ownership with Clinton Wilkens and myself, Todd Veinotte. And we are talking about, it's the month of love, of course. And because it's the month of love, that means that we're going to get into how you can love your home. And how do you love your home? You can invest in your home, obviously. And that's something that we're going to discuss, right, Clinton?
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about investing, and we are going to talk about improving our home. And we're going to talk to a realtor friend of mine.
Who's been on my show as well.
Yeah, he's been on your show.
Yeah.
And he's been on our show, Mortgage 101. We're going to talk to him about improving property. Does that make sense? And I really want to hear what's going on with the real estate market from a realtor's perspective. So we should have James here on the line. James, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
James Dwyer, always love to hear your voice. What's going on in your world?
Not a whole lot. We're just plugging away, gearing up now for the spring market, and just following closely as to what's been happening.
Clinton's got some questions for you. He's chomping at the bit. He wants to talk to you.
Well,
Right.
February is the month of love, as you know, James. And one thing that we talk about, at least in our business, is love your home. And some people love their home. Some people really dislike their home. Some people want to buy a new home. Some people want to buy their first home. But if you own a home already, does it make sense to improve your property? And really, what do you see for improvements that are really adding kind of the most market value?
Well, I think with any homeowner, everyone wants to kind of put their own mark on the properties.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot where, at least in the real estate side of things, that when you do very modern or very up to date renovations in a home, it does add a certain level of value to that home. So, the big ticket items would always be, your kitchens and your bathrooms, what you do with, say, the landscaping, the outdoor space, that extension of living that you can have in the summertime,
Mm-hmm.
and what you do with things in, say, the basement area, whether it's, it's always being considered a flexible area where you can do a lot of different things. So, value adds would be, say, if you were looking at, maybe one of your parents wanted to move in, or you wanted to really kind of amp that up to make it a really kid-friendly zone, or whatever's happening within the parameters of that family dynamic. Renovations are always going to be a strong positive thing to obviously add value and also create curb appeal for when it comes time to sell.
James, I'm sure that I've gone through this personally, where I've had a home at least a few times, and I've wanted to do upgrades and renovations to them, and I put them off until I wanted to sell the home, and then you finally put the work into it, and then you're like, man, oh man, I wish I were staying because this looks so good. Does that happen from time to time?
Yes, it does quite a bit. A lot of my clients will come to me, prior to say listing a home, and they're always a little like a kitty of money, if you will, to say, what should we do? What do we do with the space? And so, yeah, we do see that fairly regularly. But it's also to keep in mind, if you're in that process of, say, doing home renovations prior to listing, it's really important to have those conversations, because don't do something the way you necessarily would. It's more something that would be reflective of, what the general public is looking for.
Right.
Because I've seen it where someone had renovated the kitchen and put it on the market, and that house sold, and 3 weeks after closing, that kitchen was in a dumpster because they had renovated the kitchen.
What a huge waste.
They wanted it.
What a huge waste of money, but also what a huge waste for the environment.
Yeah, it is. But a good lesson too, right? A good lesson.
Yeah,
paint color. I would think the same with paint colors, right? People need to you hear neutral colors. Don't go all bold.
We've
right?
all seen the bold ones.
Yeah,
I've done it myself.
Yeah, no, colors. I mean, again, colors. Paint is the hands down the cheapest and best single improvement you can do to any home. It changes the complexion, the vibe, the energy of a space, and it is the best bang for your buck when it comes to home renovations.
So am I really picking up what you're laying down here? Are you saying renovate the property for you and enjoy it, and don't so much renovate if you're just renovating it to sell? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Correct. 100%. I mean, the last thing, you never want to be in a situation where you're living in a house and you're always thinking about that thing. Oh, I got to get that done. I got to get that done. I got to get that done. Live in the now. get the house prepped, do it the way you want to do it, and enjoy it the way, enjoy that space. I mean, God, we spend so much time here in Canada in our homes as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to make that your home base, and it's more important, I think, for the psyche, the mindset, the motivation to get those things done the way you like them.
James, often people want to do renovations to their interior, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, and all of that stuff. And I get it. Like you said, that we spend our time in the house.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't make any sense if you've got a roof that needs done, you got siding that need to be taken care of, you got a foundation that's got a crack in it.
The envelope.
The envelope. That has to, but it's expensive. It's not sexy to do that work. But from your job and as a realtor,
Correct.
You would much rather say, look, the envelope of this house is tight. There's a brand new chimney. Than look at this wonderful granite kitchen. However, we got problems with the roof, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you always look at the envelope of a property. It's you. Let's say you put a new roof on it, and you live in the house for 18, 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you wore out that roof. It's essentially you have to put on a new roof. I mean, you can't kind of pass that on to the next buyer because guess what? That next buyer is going to do a home inspection. That is going to come up, and that will become a negotiation piece, whether it's through price or through any other factors. And if nothing gets done about it, well, they're probably going to move on to the next property. So, it is to take care of the structural components first, without a doubt, which will, ultimately protect things. But I get where it's coming from. I mean, you never put a new roof on your house and have all your buddies come over in the backyard and stare at the roof and be like, yeah, nice
That's
roof.
one good looking roof.
Happen, right?
I don't know. I've seen some nice looking roofs in my day. Just saying.
Right.
So,
but for the most part, it's not a instant gratification
Mm-hmm.
component. It's a necessary evil, and fundamentally too, you got to really look at it and say, well, there's it's a homeowner responsibility, to take care of.
That's kind of the minimum expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, talking about the month of love, not everyone loves their existing home. James, it doesn't matter if you're renting or if you're owning another property. Not everyone loves their home. So tell us what's going on with the market if you're in the market to buy a new home. I've heard some rumblings that January was one of the slowest Januaries in history. Give us a little rundown of what's happening here in Halifax and across the province.
So what we're situated, what we're dealing with right now, we're in that second phase of the environment that we're in. So we had the rate hike last year. We're kind of into a plateauing position right now. Mm-hmm. And, there has been quite a buildup of pent-up demand on the buying side as well as on the listing side. So, the real, I guess, test to the market will be this spring. We're going to see an influx of, the traditional spring market. But on top of that, we're going to see the, half the fall market that didn't bother to list also come on during that time. And then on the buying side, a lot of buyers kind of took a step back in the last 6 months of last year to kind of see where things go. Where do prices go? And everyone's kind of looking for that opportunity. What we see right now happening in the market, there's many different strategies in place when it comes to pricing right now. And I think it's really important to really give long thought and deep dive the listings that are out there when it comes to price points, because some are listed, with the mindset of the market or the anticipation of what's to come. Some are listed as if they were priced as if this was, 9 months ago. So it's really important to take the time now to really break down those analytics. I suspect that, we will see, some activity, traditional activity come through on the spring. Right. Yeah. But the January data, in my opinion, it's a precursor.
Okay,
yeah, it was
James, we're just tight on time, but we thank you so much for doing this. Always great, my friend.
All right, take care for now.
All right, take care. That's James Dwyer, a local realtor and somebody who knows the market well, and obviously is on the ball. So what do you want to talk about in the next segment, Clinton?
Well, we're certainly going to talk about when maybe love doesn't go right, but I'd like to even dig a little bit deeper into if you own a home, refinance, how does that work? And we'll talk about maybe getting some people into some new homes.
Mortgage 101. We'll be right back.
If you've liked what you've heard and you want to learn more, feel free to visit us online at teamclinton.ca.